Good morning, folks. It's Michael, Teacher Turned Trucker. Last week I did not get a video uploaded. I had one recorded, but after thinking through some of the stuff, rather than editing it, I decided just to wait this week. Let me go ahead and start with an update on something that I talked about in the last video for week 3 that I was not very happy with. The overweight ticket that I got. That resolved very well. I told you back then if I heard something on the positive, I wanted to be quick to tell you guys. TMC's policy is when a trainee receives an overweight ticket, it's the responsibility of the trainer to pay it. It's not the trainee's responsibility. And I don't feel bad with this being the case, because if you remember in that last video, I read the order and I specifically pointed out to the trainer that it said this shipper is known to overweigh, and that we are required to scale. And the trainer made the decision not to scale. He decided to go with his own knowledge, with the gauges and everything, which were inaccurate. So a couple things there. So if you're looking to become a driver for TMC, they literally mean the only things you're responsible for paying are for what you put in your belly, food and drink. If you're going to do laundry, you're going to have to do that too. But any expenses incurred are the trainer's responsibility. Or some of them, it may be the trainer will be reimbursed, but not for those tickets. So there's that. Next thing. Week 4, I worked with the same trainer, and about halfway through the week, the training coordinator notified me and that trainer that I was going to be moved to a new trainer starting this week. At first, I was pretty down on myself because during that call with the coordinator, he said he wanted to get a second impression or opinion from another trainer, and I was not in a good place. I was not very confident. This week has been a complete different week. This new trainer, it's not that let's just be plain. His way of communicating is far better and easier for me to understand. He doesn't snap at me. He's calm and cool. He doesn't get in a hurry to run the truck instead of taking the time to show me and make me or let me do the stuff. I have the time to get hands-on and do when it comes to securement, when it comes to the backing. One of the big things that's a difference between this trainer and the previous one, load checks. Coming out of orientation, they harp on you within the first 50 miles and then every 3 hours or 150 miles. The policy of the first trainer was, no, I know how to secure the load. I'll check it if I go to a rest area to go to the bathroom, he'll check it. But other than that, he doesn't check it. This trainer, when we go to pull out, he already knows or has a good idea where we're stopping within 50 miles to check that for the first time. And then we do it roughly every 3 hours after that, or give or take. And during those checks, a lot of times, which leads to the other issue that I was struggling with, was my backing. There's a lot of opportunities when we pull into the pilots and flying J's, which is what we use, even the rest areas, to do some backing of some sort. So my number of backs has gone up tremendously, and my backing is much better. I am confident if I'm out in a truck stop or something, I can get it in there. Yeah, I'm going to have to get out and look, but I need to do that anyway because I'm a visual person, and I tend to be very defensive in my driving, which I think is a good thing, which was also a difference with the other driver, the other trainer. He was always in a hurry, and he drove his truck hard, and with his years of experience, I can't judge that. It's not my place. But it was different than me and that created tension because he would always want me going faster than what I at times believed to be necessary or safe. Now, when I would mention I don't feel safe, he would back off. So I'm not here to slam him, um, but I'd always have to explain myself rather than just letting me drive the truck. I was always having to explain, and there's a measure of that as a teacher that is healthy and it's good, but it created a tension that I was very uncertain anytime I got behind the truck because I didn't know when he was going to be critical and snap at me for something. Because there was times where he'd snap, and he'd, again, afterwards, he'd explain it. I didn't mean it to yell, but the reality is, and he pointed out that when I'd get in the truck Sunday night, I should be calm. I should be cool. Week 3, week 4, I shouldn't be stressed. What I didn't tell him is because every time I got in the truck with him on Sunday night, I didn't know what kind of atmosphere it was going to be. So I was stressed because of him. And again, I'm not trying to tear him down. I am setting out that if you find yourself in this situation, it's a personality thing. There's nothing wrong with asking for a new trainer because I think the world of the previous trainer. I know it doesn't sound like that, but with the right trainee and the right personality, that guy is going to push them to excel because he knows what he's doing. He does a very good job of running that truck hard, and he, at his core, is a very nice person. It was very much his personality and my personality. It was just like oil and water. But me being more of a quiet type, I tended to keep stuff and my frustrations to myself. I don't have to do that with this new trainer, personality. So if you find yourself like that in the first week, first few days, say something. Save yourself the heartache. I'm looking at going into a 6th week of training. This week was abbreviated. My new trainer had been ill, dehydrated or something. So we left out on Tuesday. So my training coordinator is going to give me another week, I think, and then I'm looking at testing out. My main focus for this next week, per my trainer, is trip planning. That is a weakness of mine. I'm not real good at it. I've tried using Hammer. It's not necessarily getting from point A to point B. It's scheduling those stops in between as well. I am going to be using one of the diesel or Garmin diesel GPSs because it allows me to put in multiple stops. I'm going to use that to plan my 50-mile check, my 3-hour checks in between. I'm just more comfortable that way. Plus, it gives me a backup GPS if the primary one of the truck goes down. Because TMC does give you one. It's in the Trimble, and we used it this week. This trainer uses it. The other trainer used a slightly older Garmin diesel. It's personal preference. But me knowing myself, especially early on, I'll be using that. Yeah, it's been a fantastic week. I really want to give a shout out to both trainers because of their knowledge. I'm not going to call out the first one's name because, like I said earlier, some of the stuff could have been perceived as very negative, and it was a negative experience. But that doesn't mean, like I said, that the guy is bad. I don't want anyone to take away that I'm dogging on him. But the point needs to be made. If you find yourself in that situation, just ask for another trainer because two people are not always beneficial to one another, and it's just personality. If I were to see the guy on the street or at a truck stop or something, I'd buy him dinner because there's a lot of stuff I learned from him that was little tidbits not involved with the trucking, but maybe how to operate the truck that I can't really recite off the top of my head. It's just those little things that you kind of take for granted, but until someone tells you, you don't know. So props to both of them. I'm very grateful for both of them. It's been a wonderful experience this week. Derek, out of DeLand, Florida, if you have an opportunity, if you live anywhere around that area, I strongly recommend that you request him. He's just an overall great guy. Every interaction I've had with him. One time I hit a curb, and that was the first thing that he said to me that was more correction or whatnot. Other than that, he just kind of let me run. I hit a curb, and he's like, "Curb, you hit a curb," and it wasn't condescending. It's just like, I need to say this. You did it. Be aware. So he's very much one that's yeah. Well, you'll learn if you get a chance. Learn from him. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it out here. This will cover weeks 4 and 5. I'll try and do a follow up either at the end of week 6 or after I test out, because it's looking very much like at this point, unless I just completely bumble something, that I'll be able to test out after this next week. So that's Michael, Teach Turn Trucker. You guys have a great day. Bye.